Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome back, students. So, it is lecture 11, part 2 of the Programming Fundamentals course. We are going to continue our discussion on references and value parameter. We are going to run and understand more C++ example that uses reference variable and value parameters. So, we are going to call a function by a reference and we are going to call a function by a value. So we are going to discuss function called by reference and function called by values. So parameters here is just another name for a variable. So with that, let us see what we are going to discuss today. So we are going to once again discover the difference between value and reference parameter. If we have time, we are also going to learn about the scope of identifier and explore reference parameter and value returning function. So with that, let me straight away jump to the second example. So this is an example where in this C++ program, we are including IOStream header file, which contains the necessary header files or the necessary methods and classes that are used by cin and cout statement. And we are using the standard namespace library. And then we declare a global variable called t. Remember, now t is a global variable where the t can be accessed by the main function and any other user defined function. So t here is a global variable, whereas num1 and num2 are local variables, which means that we can access them only inside main function. They are invisible outside of the main function. We also have two user defined function 1 and function 2. In function 1, we have a call by reference where we are passing the reference of variable a and the reference of variable x. A reference here mean the address of a and x. In the second function called function 2, we are passing the reference of u, the address of u, and the value, a copy of the value stored in v. So inside main, we can see that we declare two variable num1 and num2. Here num1 at this stage have a garbage value and num2 also have a garbage value. But later on, we have replaced that garbage value with the value of 10. So we assign 10 to num1 and we assign 20 to num2. And because t is global, we can also access it in the main function. So we have assigned the value of 15 to the variable t. So then we print the value of num1, the value of num2 and t. So here you will see 10, 20 and 15. So nothing difficult. It will simply print 10, 20 and 15. So let me check out the output. So it's 10, 20 and 15. So far so good. And then we are calling function 1. Remember, function 1 was passing the reference, so it is called by reference. We are passing the address of a and x. So because the address of a, which is num1 and t are passed, so changes made in function 1 will also be reflected here in the main function. So let us move or jump to function 1. This is function 1. We get the reference of num1 and t. So remember that num1 was having value of 10 and t was having the value of 15. So here this is pointing to the value to num1, to the location of num1, and this is pointing to the location of t. So here we are declaring a local variable called z. We add a and x and then store it in z, and then we print the value of a, which in this case will be 10. We print the value of x, which in this case will be 15, because if you can see here, num1 was having 10 and t was having 15. And then we also print the value of z, which will be 25. We also print the value of t because t was a global variable. So because we haven't changed the value of t, so 15 will be printed. So 10, 15, 25 and 15. So 10, you can see here 10, 15, 25 and 15. So that is very easy. And then we add x with 5. So now x will have value of 20 and it will be also reflected in the global variable. So what we have here, we are going to print the value of a, which is 10 x. So x is now, we change the value of x, which is now, yeah, it is now 20, and z is 25, and t will also be changed because x is holding the address of t. So t will be having a value of 20. So now we get 10, 20, 25, 20. So 10, 20, 25, 20. 10, 20, 25 and 20. So 10 here, 20, 25 and 20. Because t is global, so changes made in a local variable will also be reflected in t. Then we add 12 to the value of a. So a was having the value of 10. So 10 plus 12 is 22. So then if we print it, here we will get 22 and x will have the value of 20 and z will have the value of 25 and t will have the value of 20. So now we have 22, 20, 25, 20. So it's 22, 20, 25 and 20. And then we move on. We add, because t is a global, so we can directly access it. So we add 13 to t, and x was also addressing or pointing to the t variable. So we will get the value of 33 here because now t is having value of 20. 20 plus 13 is 33. So here we will get 22 and 33 because x is holding the address. T will also be 33. Z will be 25. And what is A? A will be 22. So 22, 33, 25 and 33. So 22, 33, 25 and 33. So that is excellent. So after that, function 1 is called. The control moves back to the calling function. Here in the main, after function 1, we print the value of num1, we print the value of num2 and t. So because num1 was passed as an address and a was pointing to it, so here num1 will have the value of 22, num2 remains same, it's 20, and t will have the value of 33. So 22, 20 and 33. So 22, 20 and 33. So in main, after function 1, so you can see here 22, 20 and 33. After that we call function 2. In function 2, the address of first variable is passed as stated in function declaration, and a value of the first variable is then passed. So num2 will get its address passed, whereas a copy of num1 which is 22. So num2 is 20 here and num1 is 22. So we passed the address of num2 and a copy of the num1 which is 22. So similarly we execute function 2. Here we will get the address of num2 in u variable and a copy of num1 in v variable. So what is num1? Num1 is 22. So we get 22 here. Whereas you will have an address of num2. Inside this function 2, we declare a variable called a2, assign whatever is stored in u, which is the address, to a2, and then we print the value. So we print u. So what was inside num2? It was 20. So we get the value of 20 and then print v, which is 22. So 20, 22, and then a2 is also pointing to u, so it's 20. And what is t? T is global, so it will be 33. So it's 20, 22, 20, 33. So here we have 20, 22, 20 and 33. 20, 22, 20 and 33. So that is okay. And then inside this function 2, we are calling function 1 and we are passing a2, which is the address of this variable, which is also the address of num2, and then we are passing the address of u. So what is the address of u? The address stored in u is same as the address stored in a2. So a2 is pointing to 20. So okay, we move back to this function 1, and then this whole process is repeated. You can see the output here. From this line to this line, we have called function 1 here. These 4 lines will be printed and the value will be displayed depending upon the value of different variables. So in function 2, after function 1 is called, we will get the value of u as 25, v as 22, a2 as 32, and t is as 46. So you can get a pen and a pencil and a copy, and you can write these steps one by one. I know that there are details, but it is only the practice that makes you perfect. So after function 1 is executed, we come back to the function 2 here and we print some values, and then we add 13 to u, and then we print the values, and then we multiply 2 by t and print the values. After that, we move back to the main function and we print in the main after function 2 the value of num1, num2 and t. So in the last, you get the value of num1 as 22, num2 as 38. Because t is a global, the changes are reflected in all these 3 functions, in function 1, function 2 and in the main function. So t in the last step, the t will be having a value of 92. So with that, I check the time. Yes, we are running out of time. So it is your assignment to type this program and run it on the code blocks. I hope that now you understand the difference between call by reference and call by value. Inshallah, in the next lecture, we are going to discuss the scope of a variable or a scope of an identifier. So if you have some problem, you can visit udacity.com, or you can go to Coursera online mock course, or to any virtual learning university. I promise that it will help you a lot, but still if you have some problem you can post it on the Google group. Inshallah, in the next I'll see you in the next lecture. Till then, take care and Allah Hafiz.